I'm Chevy, and today on the Daily Shed, we discuss Imposter Syndrome. Hello, friends. Thursday. Welcome to the Shed. Good day. Yesterday was a good game night, and I hope you watched yesterday's video about board gaming. If you didn't, go watch it, because this Saturday, April 30th, is International Tabletop Day. Go play some games, have some fun. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Today we're here to talk about Imposter Syndrome. I recently read an article about the prevalence of Imposter Syndrome in programming fields. Okay, so first let me tell you what Imposter Syndrome is. I'm going to read from Wikipedia. Exciting, right? Imposter syndrome is a term coined in 1978 by clinical psychologists Dr. Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, referring to high-achieving individuals marked by an inability to internalize their accomplishments and a persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. Despite external evidence of their competence, those exhibiting the syndrome remain convinced that they are frauds and do not deserve the successes they have achieved. It's true. That is extremely prevalent in the computer programming field. And I think it's for good reason. Yesterday, I sent out this tweet, and it was a very simple tweet that just said, thing equals not thing, in programming speak. And while that might be obvious to a lot of people, I am a self-taught programmer. I've been writing software since I was about 8, 9, or 10, somewhere in that area. I took a course in high school that I ended up tutoring the entire class. I programmed for the Marine Corps. I have Marine Corps achievement medals for my programming in the Marine Corps. I've been writing software professionally for a while now. I've done all kinds of projects, and I still feel like I have no clue what I'm doing. And for the most part, I don't. But you know what the thing is? For the most part, most programmers don't feel like they have a grasp. So I'm writing this thing at work, and it's just a simple employee tracking software. It's pretty cool. It's all web-based. There's app integration. It's pretty cool. But there's a large group of programmers like myself. We're one-man teams, and I bet you use software every day that was written by self-taught programmers because we're so prevalent. The thing is, when you go to school, they teach you the fundamentals of programming, and then you actually learn how to do your job in the field. And for those of us that don't have the opportunity to work with a large group of coders, to have our code reviewed and looked at by our peers, things like this might get skipped. So you go to school and they teach you stuff like this. Okay? This is basic algebra, right? X equals 5. That's also how you make a variable and you assign it something. So now later on in your program, if I say insert X somewhere, that happens. So the second most fundamental part of programming would be if statements. So if X equals 5. So here we have a simple if X equals 5, do something. Well, we just told X is 5, or we just said X is 5. So whatever this is going to do something. Whatever it might be, okay? And then, or maybe you have a loop. Loop is another fundamental. So you'll say for X do yada yada yada, okay? So for X do something. So for this many times, we're going to do something. And because X is 5, we do it 5 times. These are the fundamental basics of programming. There's one more thing that I would consider fundamental. I don't know if it is, but that's simply what this is. This is called a Boolean. And that's spelled Boolean. And Booleans are either true or false. Okay? When you make a variable, X is our variable, it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a number, it can be a word. You could make X equals hi. You can make it a date, anything. Okay? A Boolean can only be one of two things, true or false, off or on. And that's simply what this stupid little code says. If thing is a Boolean, say I set thing to false, and I put this little bang in front of it, we call that a bang. Bang thing just flips the Boolean state, so now it's true. This is something I should have known when I was 12. I had no idea. Literally, been writing software my entire life. No clue. Why? Because I'm self-taught. So I had that moment. I'm working on this thing, and I just simply wanted to do this repeatable task, but every other time I wanted something to happen, and that's something particularly keyed off of a Boolean. And so it was really simple to just change the Boolean. And I thought, what's the easiest way of doing that? So I Googled it, and Google says, hey, dummy, I think that like 90% of the code that I write comes from Google. Like just straight up read a tutorial, tweak it, publish it. That's my code. And there's a lot of people like that. It's not magic, people. This stuff, this fundamental stuff, this is like arithmetic. Anybody can learn this. I promise you that if you want to write software, you can learn this stuff. But how to do things more efficiently, this simple line, what I told you it does, it changes this from false to true or from true to false. You could do this 1,000 different ways. Okay, I'm a hack. I taught myself, so I do a lot of stupid stuff. Like I will say X equals 1. And then if X equals 1, then X equals 0. Okay, so this is the same thing. X is now 1. If X is 1, then I switch it to 0. Same thing as this. Same, kind of. It's 1/2 of this. Then I'd have to go say, else if X equals 0, then X equals 1. So those two lines of code right there are replaced by this. And this is stupid. This is one of those fundamental things. You don't use an integer for logic code. But you can. It works. If I fired up my website right now and showed it to you, you'd be like, that's impressive. I can put stuff in the database and it goes and it checks and that gives me error reports and all this other crazy stuff. And you'd be like, that's amazing. But if I printed my code off and I handed it to a senior engineer, he would tear me to pieces. That's what imposter syndrome is. I know that what I'm doing isn't special. But to people outside, it is. It's magic. I'm creating magic. And really, I'm just splicing wires together until it works. Do you suffer imposter syndrome? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. I would love to hear more stories about imposter syndrome outside of the programming field even. Because I think it's very prevalent for people who we perceive our success differently than the way the rest of the world does. We perceive our failures more than we perceive our successes. And so it's much easier for us to be down on ourselves. But I would love to chat with you in the comments, chat with you about programming if you want to tell me my code's stupid, or if you're a PNP. If you're a PHP engineer and you want to do a code review for me, I'll send you my code and I'll let you tell me that I'm an idiot. It's that time. Today's random fact comes from wikipedia.org. What causes a penalty shot in hockey? In ice hockey, a penalty shot is a type of penalty awarded when a team loses a clear scoring opportunity on a breakaway because of a foul committed by an opposing player. A player from the non-offending team is given an attempt to score a goal without opposition from any defending players except the goaltender. If I'm skating in and I'm about to score and you come trip me, I'm gonna get a penalty shot. It's that simple. I'm a hockey fan. Today's random fact. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you for making me a part of your day. Please leave some comments down below. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. Ask me questions for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Hashtag the shed, and I'll answer them on the show. Catch you guys tomorrow. If you want to play Risk, just don't. I'll save you the trouble. Pick up a copy of Zombie Dice. You can play up to like 8 or 10 players or something like that. And it's the same thing as Risk. You roll dice, and the person who rolls the best wins. Why would you want to play a 5-hour game of Risk?